My fiancé's father took me aside and said, "Pay us $50,000 or she'll claim you abused her." I smiled and said, "I appreciate the honesty." Then I played the recording for her entire family at the rehearsal dinner. The wedding was canceled, but not by me. I, 31 male, work as a project manager for a commercial construction company. Decent salary, nothing insane, but I've been smart with money since my early 20s. Watched my dad struggle with debt my whole childhood. Swore I'd never be in that position. No credit card debt, solid 401k, own my truck outright. My fiancée and I had been together for 2.5 years, engaged for 7 months. Wedding was supposed to be this coming Saturday. Her family never liked me. It wasn't dramatic or confrontational, just this persistent chill whenever I was around. Her dad worked in financial services, always wore expensive watches, drove a German sedan he couldn't stop talking about, made comments about how I worked with my hands like it was an insult, how I wasn't the type of man he'd envisioned for his daughter. Her mom was more subtle, polite smiles, but whispered conversations with her daughter whenever I stepped out of the room. Her older sister was the worst. Straight up told me once at a family barbecue that I was punching above my weight class, and I should be grateful every day that she chose someone like you. I brushed it off. Every family has dynamics. I figured they'd warm up once they saw how happy I made their daughter, how hard I worked, how much I loved her. Looking back, I was an idiot. But you believe what you want to believe when you're in love. 3 weeks before the wedding, her dad asked to meet me for coffee. Just the two of us. Said he wanted to discuss man-to-man things before the big day. Give me advice about marriage, maybe some wisdom from his 30 years with her mom. I was actually touched. Finally, I thought some acceptance. We met at a diner near his office on a Tuesday morning. Nothing fancy, just a standard American breakfast place with vinyl booths and coffee that had probably been sitting for hours. He ordered black coffee, no food. Got straight to business before I could even order. "So, you're marrying my daughter." "That's the plan, sir." He stirred his coffee slowly, deliberately. "She deserves a certain lifestyle. A lifestyle I've provided for 28 years. Private schools, nice vacations, the right clothes, the right car. You understand that, don't you?" "I understand she's used to certain things. We've discussed finances. We'll be comfortable." He laughed. Not a warm laugh. The kind that makes you feel like you just said something stupid. Comfortable, right? "Listen, son, I'm going to be direct with you because I respect directness. No point dancing around things. My daughter's happiness is worth more than comfortable. And my family has expenses, expectations that need to be met." Something in my gut shifted. That instinct you develop working construction, meeting shady contractors, dealing with people who smile while trying to screw you. I pulled out my phone like I was silencing it and hit record. Slid it back on the table, screen down. "What kind of expectations?" He leaned forward, elbows on the table, voice low. $50,000. Consider it dowry if you like that word. A good faith payment showing you're serious about taking care of her. About taking care of this family. I almost choked on my water. 50,000? "Sir, with all due respect, we're planning a life together, not a business transaction." His expression didn't change. Cold, calculated. "It's exactly a business transaction. Everything in life is. And here's the thing, you'll pay it, or my daughter will tell people you hit her. Just once she'll say, just one time when you were drunk and angry and you lost control. Nobody will believe you. Everyone will believe her. Your job, your friends, your family, everyone will look at you differently. Even if nothing legal happens, that cloud follows you forever." I sat there, completely frozen, just processing. This man, my future father-in-law, the person who was supposed to welcome me into his family, was threatening to have his own daughter falsely accuse me of domestic violence unless I paid him $50,000. Does she know about this? This arrangement? Who do you think suggested it? That hit me like a physical blow. Not just her father's scheme. Hers too. The woman I'd proposed to cried with at her aunt's funeral, held through her anxiety attacks. She'd come up with this. I took a breath, and somehow I found a smile. The clarity was almost peaceful, like finally understanding why a relationship always felt slightly off. "I appreciate the honesty, sir. Really, most people would have tried to be subtle about it. hinted around, made me feel guilty into volunteering the money. You just laid it out. He seemed confused by my calm. So you'll pay? I need some time to think. It's a big decision. You have until the rehearsal dinner. Friday night. Have the money ready. Cashier's check is fine. Or we go public Saturday morning. Right when you should be saying I do. Your choice how this plays out. He finished his coffee, threw a 10 on the table, and left me sitting there. I stayed another 20 minutes. Let the waitress refill my coffee twice. Listened to the recording 3 times with my earbuds in, making sure it was clear. Every word captured. Then I drove home, sat in my driveway for another half hour, and started making a plan. Update 1 week later. The hardest part was acting normal. Every morning, my fiancée would kiss me goodbye like nothing was wrong. Every evening, she'd ask about my day, snuggle up on the couch, talk about wedding details. And I'd smile and nod and pretend I didn't know she was planning to accuse me of abuse if I didn't pay her family's ransom. But I needed more information. Was it just her and her dad? Or was the whole family involved? I started paying attention, really paying attention. Things I dismissed as quirks or coincidences started forming a pattern. She'd casually ask about my savings at least once a week now, always framed as planning for our future. She'd suggest we buy a bigger house immediately after the wedding, something with a guest suite for her parents. She'd mention her parents were going through a rough patch financially and might need some support to get through it. Wednesday night, she brought it up directly. We were on the couch, some reality show playing in the background, when she muted it and turned to me with that serious face. Babe, I was thinking, what if we help my parents out a little? Just until they get back on their feet. Help how? I don't know. Maybe a loan? Like $50,000 or so. The exact number. She wasn't even creative enough to change the amount. That's a lot of money. Why so much? She shrugged, suddenly very interested in a thread on the couch cushion. Medical bills. Some debt they accumulated. They're too proud to ask themselves, but I know they're struggling. Your dad seemed fine when we had coffee last week. Drove up in that Audi. Something flickered across her face. Just a flash of annoyance, quickly hidden. He's good at keeping up appearances. I nodded, kept my voice light. Let me think about it. Wedding first, then we'll figure out finances together. As a married couple, we should make big decisions together, right? She smiled and kissed my cheek. You, re the best. I knew you'd understand. I understood perfectly. She was working me from a different angle. Good cop to her dad's bad cop. Thursday afternoon, her sister called me. This was unusual. She'd never voluntarily spoken to me on the phone before. We weren't friends. We weren't anything. Hey, just checking in. How are you feeling about Saturday? Good. Nervous. Excited. You know how it is. Right. So, listen, my dad mentioned he talked to you about some family stuff? Financial stuff? He mentioned some concerns, yeah. And I'm thinking about it. Long pause. When she spoke again, her voice had dropped. Harder. You should probably think faster. My sister's patience isn't infinite, you know, and she has options if things don't work out the way they're supposed to. Options. I'm just saying, it would be really unfortunate if things got complicated right before the wedding. If certain stories came out, allegations, you know, you seem like a nice guy. I'd hate for your reputation to get permanently damaged over a misunderstanding that could have been avoided. Are you threatening me? I'm giving you advice. Take it or leave it. She hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, recording still running. That made 3 people I knew for certain were in on it. Later that night, I texted my fiancée asking about her mom's opinion on the table centerpieces. Some nonsense excuse to get a conversation going. Her mom's reply, forwarded through my fiancé's phone, made it 4. Centerpieces are fine, honey. More importantly, did you talk to him about helping us? Your father says time is running out, and we need to know if he's going to be reasonable or not. The whole family. Mother, father, both daughters. Coordinated extortion using a false abuse allegation as leverage. Like it was normal. Like they'd done this before. I forwarded everything to my personal email. Made cloud backups. Then I called my cousin who works as a paralegal at a law firm downtown. Quick question. If someone threatens to make a false abuse claim unless I pay them money, what is that legally? That's extortion. Blackmail. Depending on specifics, it could be felony extortion, criminal threatening, conspiracy. Why? What's going on? I told her everything. The coffee meeting, the recording, the follow-up threats from her sister, the coordinated pressure from the whole family. She was quiet for a long time. You need to talk to an actual attorney. Today, if possible. This is serious. And whatever you're planning for that rehearsal dinner, make sure it's legal and make sure it's smart. Don't do anything that lets them flip this back on you. Friday morning, I took a half day at work and met with a criminal defense attorney. Showed him the recordings, the text, the full picture. He listened to everything twice. This is textbook extortion. Classic. You have enough here to file criminal charges today if you wanted to. But, he sighed. Realistically, these cases are hard to prosecute. They'll claim it was a joke that went wrong, a misunderstanding. Your fiancée will cry on the stand, talk about how she was pressured by her father, never would have gone through with it. Juries are sympathetic to crying women, especially young ones. 50-50 odds at best. So what do? You need witnesses. Neutral third parties who hear this with their own ears, in context, and can't be dismissed as biased afterward. People who will remember exactly what was said and can testify if needed. Like a room full of people at a rehearsal dinner. He raised an eyebrow. That would certainly be effective. Just make sure you're not in a two-party consent state for recordings. Why not? I already checked. Then legally, you're in the clear. Morally, publicly humiliating your fiancée and her family is your call. Just know you can't unring that bell. I already knew my call. Update 2, the rehearsal dinner. Friday night. Rehearsal dinner at a mid-range Italian restaurant her parents had insisted on and that I'd paid for, naturally. About 35 people, both families, the wedding party, some close friend for both sides. I'd gotten there early, set up a small Bluetooth speaker at the head table, told the restaurant manager it was for speeches and toasts. Nobody questioned it. I connected my phone, tested the audio, made sure everything was ready. Her dad cornered me in the hallway right before we sat down. He looked smug, confident. You have it. Have what? His face hardened. Don't play games with me. The money. Tomorrow's the wedding. Did you bring a cashier's check or not? It's being handled. That's not an answer. I need to know right now. You'll know soon enough. Let's enjoy dinner first. It's a special night. He grabbed my arm. Not hard, but firm. A warning. You think you're clever? My daughter will destroy you. One phone call to the police. One crying statement about being afraid to come forward. Your life is over. Career finished. Friends gone. Nobody wants to be associated with an abuser. I looked at his hand on my arm, then at his face. Let go of me and sit down. You're going to want to hear what happens next. He let go slowly, looking confused. I walked into the main dining room. Everyone was settling in. Champagne being poured. Laughter filling the room. My mom was chatting with one of my fiancé's aunts, probably sharing embarrassing childhood stories. My dad was showing someone fishing photos on his phone. My fiancée was surrounded by bridesmaids, glowing in a white dress she'd bought specifically for tonight. Normal. Happy. A celebration of love and family and new beginnings. I walked to the head table, picked up a fork, and clinked it against my glass. Everyone, can I have your attention, please? The room quieted. My fiancée smiled at me, expecting a heartfelt toast. I know we usually save the big speeches for the actual wedding, but there's something I need to share with everyone tonight. Something that affects all of us, both families, everyone in this room. Curious looks. Her dad shifting uncomfortably at his table. 3 weeks ago, my future father-in-law asked to meet me for coffee. I thought it was going to be advice about marriage. Instead, it was this. I hit play on my phone. The speaker filled the room. His voice, clear as day, $50,000. Consider it a dowry. A good faith payment showing you're serious about taking care of her. My voice. Sir, with all due respect, we're planning a life together, not a business transaction. His voice again. It's exactly a business transaction. And here's the thing. You'll pay it, or my daughter will tell people you hit her. Just once, she'll say. Just one time when you were drunk and angry. Nobody will believe you. Everyone will believe her. The room went dead silent. Someone dropped a fork. Nobody moved. My voice on the recording. Does she know about this? This arrangement. Who do you think suggested it? I let that land. Then I stopped the recording. Her father was standing now, face dark red, veins visible in his forehead. That's been manipulated. He edited it. That's not what. There's more. I pulled up the text on my phone. Read them out loud, slowly and clearly. Her sister's threatening call about options and my reputation getting damaged. Her mother's text about time running out and whether I was going to be reasonable. Then I looked directly at my fiancée. And you, Wednesday night, asking me for exactly $50,000 for your parents' medical bills. The same exact amount. What a coincidence. She was crying now. Babe, please let me explain. Explain what? That you were going to accuse me of hitting you. Something I have never done, would never do, unless I paid your family off? That this whole wedding was just an elaborate setup to extract money from me. It wasn't like that. My dad got carried away. I never would have actually. You suggested it. He said so. On tape. In front of everyone here. Her mother stood up, finger pointed at me like a weapon. You recorded a private conversation without consent. That's illegal. That's entrapment. One-party consent state. I was part of the conversation. I can record it. I checked with a lawyer. Unlike your family, I actually know the law. My fiancée's grandmother, her dad's mother, was sitting at a nearby table, hand over her mouth. Her aunt looked like she might throw up. I didn't want to believe it, I said, loud enough for everyone. When I heard it the first time, I told myself there had to be an explanation. But then your daughter backed it up. Your wife backed it up. Your other daughter threatened me directly. It's not a misunderstanding. It's a family business. My fiancée was hyperventilating now, mascara running down her face. You were supposed to just pay it. It wasn't even that much money. We would have been happy. The room gasped. She just admitted it. Out loud, in front of both families. Her father lunged across the table at me. Literally lunged, knocking over glasses, sending silverware flying. My dad and uncle intercepted him before he could reach me. But he was screaming now, unhinged. You ruined us. You ruined everything. We needed that money. You need a reality check, I said. The wedding is off. I've already canceled the venue and notified the vendors. The deposits I paid are gone. But I'm keeping my freedom, my reputation, and my dignity, which is more than you were planning to leave me. I walked toward the exit. Behind me, the room erupted into chaos. Shouting, crying, glass breaking somewhere. My mom caught up with me in the parking lot. Are you okay? I wasn't. Hands shaking, heart racing. The woman I loved had been planning to accuse me of something horrific just to get her hands on my money. I will be, I said. Final update, 3 weeks later. The aftermath was devastating. For them. That same night, someone from the dinner. I still don't know who called the police. Not about me. About the extortion. With 35 witnesses to a recorded confession and a physical altercation, the cops showed up at her parents' house by midnight. Her father was arrested Monday morning. The charges, felony extortion, criminal threatening, and simple assault for the lunge at the restaurant. Bail was set at $20,000. Her mother had to take out a second mortgage on their house to cover it. All those years of living beyond their means, and they didn't have $20,000 in savings. My fiancée tried to get ahead of it. Went to the police herself Tuesday, said she wanted to report that I'd manipulated her into participating in her father's scheme. Played the victim. Cried convincingly, I'm sure. But the detective who interviewed me had been at a different incident involving false accusations the year before. He wasn't impressed with her story. Told her that her own words, you were supposed to just pay it, had been heard by 35 witnesses. He wasn't filing anything against me. Her sister tried a different approach. Hired some lawyer to send me a cease and desist letter claiming I defamed the family by playing the recording publicly. The letter threatened significant legal action if I didn't issue a written apology. My lawyer responded with a 3-page letter explaining exactly how extortion statutes work, noting that truth is an absolute defense against defamation and suggesting they redirect their legal resources toward their father's upcoming criminal trial. No response from them after that. The real consequences came from the ripple effects nobody could control. Her father worked for a regional wealth management firm. Not a huge company, but respectable. When his arrest hit the local news, Financial advisor arrested an extortion scheme at daughter's rehearsal dinner. His employer conducted an internal review. Client started calling, worried. Threatening to destroy someone with false abuse allegations isn't great for your reputation in an industry built on trust. He was terminated within 10 days. Her mother lost her seat on the board of a local charity she'd been involved with for years. Nobody wanted the association. Her sister's husband, who I had barely spoken to at family events, filed for legal separation 2 weeks later. I heard through mutual friends that he'd been blindsided at the dinner. Had no idea what his wife was involved in. Couldn't look at her the same way after watching the whole thing unfold. My former fiancée called me from a block number about 8 days after everything went down. Are you happy now? My dad lost his job. My mom hasn't left the house in a week. My sister's husband moved out. Is that what you wanted? What I wanted was to marry someone who loved me. Instead, I almost married someone planning to accuse me of domestic violence to extract money. I never would have actually done it. It was just leverage. Just leverage. Listen to yourself. You were going to falsely accuse me of something that would have destroyed my career, my relationships, my entire life, and you're calling it leverage. Like that makes it okay. My parents have real debt. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. They were going to lose the house, the cars, everything. So your solution was to victimize me. An innocent person who loved you, who trusted you. You could have told me about the debt. I would try to help. Maybe. Instead, you threatened my entire future. Silence on her end. I hope you understand, I said, that false accusations don't just disappear. If you'd actually gone through with it, that label would have followed me forever. Googling my name would have brought it up. Job interviews, dating, everything. There'd always be that question. You were willing to do that to me for money. She hung up. Her father's trial is scheduled for next month. I'll probably have to testify. My lawyer says it's a solid case with the recording and the witnesses, but you never know. He could plead down to something minor. He could get probation, but his career is over either way. His reputation is destroyed. The wedding venue kept my $8,000 deposit since I canceled within 30 days. Caterer gave me back half of what I'd paid. Lost about $11,000 total between everything. Expensive lesson, but nothing compared to what I would have lost if I'd actually married her. Last week, my former fiancé's grandmother reached out through my mom. Wanted me to know she was horrified by what her son had done. Said she cut contact with him and her granddaughter until they showed genuine accountability, not just remorse about getting caught. I appreciated that. It meant something, but I know genuine accountability isn't coming. Entitled people don't feel accountability. They feel victimized. They feel like the world is unfair for not giving them what they deserve. Her father will go to his grave believing I owed him that money, that I was the unreasonable one for refusing to pay. I'm seeing a therapist now. Processing the betrayal takes time. Trusting people again will take longer. But I'm getting there. I kept the recording, not as a trophy, as a reminder. When someone's family makes you feel like an outsider, like you're never quite good enough, believe that feeling. It's not insecurity. It's pattern recognition. The wedding was canceled, but not by me. They canceled at the moment they decided I was worth more as a victim than as a husband. I just made sure there were witnesses when the truth came out.